Nighttime, Fort Worth, Texas, and putting the finishing touches on 4 games here at Dickies Arena. Brand new arena, opened just 2 years ago and hosting its first NCAA tournament. And now the top seed in the Midwest, they have arrived. The Kansas Jayhawks taking on the Texas Southern Tigers. Texas Southern coming out of the SWAC and coming out of the first 4 with a victory on Tuesday. Creighton just outlasted San Diego State in an incredible overtime win. A couple of comebacks there for Creighton. Kansas and Texas Southern will match up against Creighton on Saturday. Hi everybody, we welcome you from Fort Worth. Brian Anderson and Jim Jackson in the spotlight here as they introduce the players. We'll hear from Allie LaForce in just a moment. And Jimmy, we just saw an incredible game. We've seen some upsets, some games that have gone right down to the wire. Now the #1 seed Kansas Jayhawks are here. Ochai Agbaji and company are ready to plow their way through this tournament.
You know, they have something to prove. I think in the Big 12 they've fought and battled hard, but yet and still the question remains, are they good enough to win a national title? Well, when everybody's healthy, they can compete with anybody. Ochai Agbaji will be the one leading the way, but it's going to be a tough task. This Texas Southern team is no pushover. They can protect the rim. They're athletic. They're long. They've played a game already. John Walker III is the leading scorer. He can knock down threes at a high clip. So never easy. That's why you put the ball in the air, play the game, best team wins.
Starting lineups presented by Wendy's, PJ Henry, AJ Lawson, Bryson Etienne, Jordan Carl Nicholas, and Bryson Gresham, who was on that Houston Cougar Final Four team a year ago. And then for Kansas, Bill Self has DeJuan Harris, Christian Brown, Ochai Agbaji, the Big 12 Player of the Year, David McCormick, and Jalen Wilson. And there is Bill Self, the legend, Hall of Famer, and a very good team this year. He feels good about this group going into the tournament. They were ranked inside the top 10 the entire season. And Jimmy, the best offensive team in the Big 12 this year. There is a quiet confidence with Bill Self and the Jayhawks. And Johnny Jones, a former LSU coach, was at North Texas as well, and now the head man in his 4th year at Texas Southern. And let's see, that's going to be Kansas ball, as Gresham was out of bounds, and that's how this game begins here tonight. Our officiating crew, Tony Padilla, Donnie Epley, and Scott Brown.
You know, it's interesting because you talked about the offense and how proficient this Kansas team is, but it's done by committee. Even though Ochai Agbaji is a key component, he's not a one-on-one guy. They move it around, spread it around, everybody gets an opportunity to put the ball in the basket.
Gresham already with a defensive play. Texas Southern on the move, and they get a transition layup to start the scoring. And you can hear there are a lot of fans here in Fort Worth, Texas that made the trip. Texas Southern and Kansas traveling well.
And Houston is not too far away, so the trip was well taken. And they're excited about this team, especially with Johnny Jones at the helm, what they're able to accomplish this year.
Bryson Gresham is a difference maker inside for them and has that experience. Miss bucket on the move once again. PJ Henry looking inside. Gresham, it's going to be a matchup to watch tonight. McCormick and Gresham. Jordan Card Nicholas. This with a left hand. Wilson clears it away. Kansas getting their tournament started. Bill Self, he's never as nervous than he is in these games. These 16-1s or 15-2s when you're the prohibitive favorite. These are the ones that keep coaches up. He said he doesn't think his players are in that mode, but he hopes they listen to him because Texas Southern, they got some dudes this year.
They do, and then, you know, you take for granted here, another defensive play. Like Texas Southern able to get the shot up, but you just don't know. Young men are young men, and despite what you may tell them, sometimes you do have a tendency to look at a team's ranking and take that for granted.
Etienne checking Brown. Does Johnny Jones get in trouble for not starting his son tonight? I mean, how's that work?
Well, it depends. You got to ask his wife that question.
Right. John Jones starts on the bench. Wilson misses a 3. 1 and done for Kansas. And they start this one 0 for 3 and 0 for 2 from 3-point range. The SWAC tournament champions, Texas Southern. Turnover. Gresham gave it away. Harris will lay it in. And the Jayhawks are on the board for the first time.
A good defense, active hands that time by the Jayhawks. McCormack able to get it up ahead.
Texas Southern winning that SWAC tournament title, which put them into the first four. Beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi. On its way, Etienne, no. Wilson sees a lane. Wilson, some contact and scores. He is strong.
Maybe that's an indication too that the officials with that play in transition is going to let this game be a little bit more physical. Maybe knowing the pedigree of both of these teams.
Stepped on the baseline. Texas Southern turnover. So into the first four they go to face Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And their win, they had a win against Mount St. Mary's last year and an NC Central. So some wins under their belt. I think that's one of the reasons small college coaches like the first four. It gives them an opportunity to get on the floor, get a win, get that winning feeling, and then you never know. There have been some teams that go from the first four to the Final Four, like VCU, UCLA. Wilson lets Gresham go by, gives it up, and it's going to be a 3-second violation. That extra pass.
Yep. Not McCormack's fault. He's positioning himself for the shot to go up, and Wilson had a nice pump fake. Should just rose up and shot the jump shot, chose to pass it, hence the 3-second call.
Kansas a little slow start here. They averaged nearly 79 points per game to lead the Big 12 Conference, and back as the Big 12 Conference tournament champions. Shared the regular season with Baylor. On the ground and a held ball. Kansas will have possession. Bill Self, now 59 years of age and now in his 19th season. He's had one of the great careers all time. Got that national championship in 2008. Been to 3 Final Fours. His 23rd NCAA tournament in his 29th overall year. Harris, and had it deflected by Nicholas, and that'll bring us to our first timeout under 16. 4-2, sluggish start for both teams. We're off and running. The final game of the night in Fort Worth, Texas. Here's a look at our tournament summary. How about St. Peter's? The kids from Jersey City knock it off the 2 seed, the Kentucky Wildcats, their first win in school history. Well, for Kansas to make a deep run here, that could depend in large part on the health of Remy Martin and Allie LaForce. So far, so good the last few weeks for Remy Martin.
Well, Brian, Remy Martin is finally starting to look like the old Remy Martin. He missed about 10 games since initially suffering that injury to his right knee, which the team declared a deep bone bruise. Coach actually encouraged him to take a couple of weeks off. He wanted him to get back to his old self because he was playing like a shell of himself. He played in the conference tournament. He averaged 11 points over his last 2 games. Also something to keep an eye on, David McCormack is playing through a really sore foot that's injured. Coach played him just 10 minutes in the quarterfinal win, 13 minutes in the semifinal win, and 30 minutes in the championship. He told me being a big, he has to really watch where he lands and also where he's putting his feet, but he said, quote, no second thoughts about whether he feels the pain or not. He is going to push through this tournament.
Yeah, the key for Kansas has always been the play of McCormack, of course, and with Remy, so important because that knee issue hampered him. His quickness was his ally, and when he didn't have it, it did affect him. A good shot. That time, P.J. Henry able to knock it in.
First basket for Henry. Saw Harris knock down the triple for Kansas. Here's Ochai Agbaji, unanimous Big 12 Player of the Year. Remember, Remy Martin was the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. It has been a struggle for him, transferring in from Arizona State, but again, the injuries. Bill Self said, I thought maybe 2 or 3 weeks off would be good. I asked him, and he said, sure, I'll take 3 weeks off. And then he came back, and now his minutes are up, and his play is up, still coming off the bench. But you got to give a lot of credit to DeJuan Harris for stepping in. And Harris has done a nice job. He's led the Big 12 in assist to turnover ratio. He's the steady hand that Bill Self appreciates. And he is guarding P.J. Henry here. Late clock. McCormack clears. Here's Brown now, the explosive wing, and going to be a foul On Texas Southern, A.J. Lawson will pick up the foul. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the best Coke ever. Like the GOAT. Is that fact checked? Debate the GOATness.
Well, you know, on DeJuan Harris Jr., here's the key, too. Redshirt sophomore. He was able to play in meaningful games early to test his wares, to gain the confidence of not only the coaching staff, but his teammates. So now down the line, Remy Martin gets back healthy. You have a point guard, backup point guard that you can trust in critical situations, and that experience is invaluable.
Abaji was looking for the lob with McCormick, actually hit the rim, and now on the breakaway and a foul, a hard foul by Jalen Wilson. And down goes Justin Hopkins. Free throws coming for the grad transfer from Sanford, Justin Hopkins. Was making sure that was not going to go in. Texas Southern got 55 points from their bench in that first 4 game, and that's really the calling card for Johnny Jones. He is going to play a lot of guys. There are going to be line changes at times. He believes in fresh legs on the floor.
Well, he's going to play a 10-man rotation. They play about 14 to 25 minutes apiece. Again, that keeps the bodies fresh. More importantly, when you can rotate guys like that, it keeps their minds fresh. So you don't make the critical mistakes because you're tired or fatigued. So that's very important for Coach Johnny Jones.
Gresham is out. Yahuza Rosas checks in for the first time. They lose a lot when Gresham goes to the bench. There's Abaji. He is a deadly shooter. Knocks it down. One of the great shooters in the country. Ochai Abaji, first team All-America selection. Abaji's first made 3. Got 5 on the board. And that's no shot there. That was prior to the shot. Johnny Walker on the take.
Well, it's all about being efficient for Abaji. Okay, he read the play. That time his defender overplayed him, so he slid back into a 3-point shot.
And another one's down for Texas Southern. AT&T 5G taking us above the rim. Taking a look at that stroke of Ochai Abaji. Inside, knocked away. Lightfoot on the floor for the first time. Mitch Lightfoot. Most games played in the history of this program. And Bill Self now brings Remy Martin on the floor for the first time. And these minutes are going to be key for Martin. Had a knee injury late December. But his minutes are up recently, and Martin scoring 12 against Texas Tech.
Wow.
And Abaji just races to the rim.
Well, Abaji does a great job of playing off the ball. That's why he's so efficient in regards to being able to get high-quality shots. See a turnover right there. Gets it right back.
Gets it right back. Does P.J. Henner, then he stepped out of bounds.
But watch the curl play here. Patience, timing. Now you explode off. Boom, right here. Not really a lot of help and resistance that time by Johnny Walker, or John Walker III.
Abaji has scored the last 7 points for Kansas. Average 18.7 points per game in the Big 12 tournament as Kansas rolled to a Big 12 tournament title. Victory over Texas Tech. Championship game. Martin looking inside. Abaji posting up. Got Lawson on him. Oh, denied inside. Johnny Walker was up there flying high. Now here comes Texas Southern in transition. 3-pointer on its way. There's the coach's son. John Jones can't hit the 3. Wilson gives it up. Brown. Cash.
That's beautiful transition basketball that time by the Jayhawks. You get it up quick. You run the court. Again, you're going to spread to the 3-point line. Able to knock it in. Oh, it's on the rim.
Well, Rosas can't get that to go. That's what Texas Southern bench is complaining about. Brown. Oh, slows it down. Another block. Johnny Walker coming in.
In transition, spotted up. You come late, I'm going to make you pay. Brown able to knock it in, but then able to come right back. Now, I'm not just a shooter. I can finish through the contact, but guess what? John Walker said, nah, I'm not getting that one.
Christian Brown, all Big 12 second team selection. His scoring spiked from last year. Two major weapons in Brown and Obaji, and then a lot of great pieces around those two. McCormick, a major presence inside, but as Ali reported, he's dealing with a foot injury. It's going to be interesting tonight to see his minutes, especially when Grisham sits for Texas Southern.
Yeah, you know, as much time that Coach Self can get him on the bench to get a little rest and not put a lot of pressure. And in particular, if the game gets kind of out of balance, that provides him the opportunity to give him more rest for a deeper run, but we'll see.
Johnny Walker got it. John Walker, he had himself a night Tuesday night against A&M Corpus Christi. Had 16 points in the first 4 games. 6 rebounds as well. Knocks down a 3, 7-point Kansas lead. And Wilson had it stripped and a foul. So the foul on Rosas. John Walker got it cooking again.
Just take the 3, just stay within balance. Got his team only down by 7 points. He's loving it right now.
7-point Kansas lead. Catch the road to the Final Four in New Orleans on March Madness Live on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device. Scan the QR code now to download. It is a must-have this time of year. As we check in with Allie LaForce. What do you have, Allie?
Well, Coach, despite the seed difference, you said yourself yesterday, and I thought it was with great humility that you said Texas Southern is scary. Did your team come out with that sense of urgency and the relative fear that you wanted to see?
I think we did. We've got like 5 turnovers already. Their speed has bothered us, and we need to settle down offensively. Defensively, we're doing okay, but offensively, we haven't looked very good.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, I like it, but Johnny Jones understands that for his team to compete defensively, they're going to have an impact and make this Kansas team work, not get them anything easy, but offensively, take care of the ball. That can be your best defense, is high-quality shots and not turning it over.
Good from McCormick inside. He's back on the floor, and John Walker fouls him. So Walker knocked down the 3, has a block in this game. And as he entered off the bench, making his presence known quickly, picks up his first foul. Johnny Jones, he's one of the great guys in college basketball, and he has been around a long, long time. 37 years of Division I coaching experience, including 21 seasons as a head coach. He was at Memphis and North Texas, here in the DFW Metroplex, LSU, and of course Texas Southern now. Nice little mid-range jumper by Jalen Wilson. And the Jayhawks up 9.
And a quick decision by McCormack. Once he received the pass, felt a little pressure, he was able to get it out to Jalen Wilson, who went into his own bag to get that jump shot from about 15 feet. Tough shot.
Yeah, tough shot. In and out it goes, Johnny Walker, and that's going to be a foul on the floor on McCormick, I believe. Yep, McCormick's going to get the loose ball foul. Hey, you can get complete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com. Top-seeded Kansas, we're in the Midwest region. It'll end up in Chicago as Walker sticks another one.
Nice play from underneath out of bounds, and that time the passer didn't put enough, the defender didn't put enough pressure on the passer on the inbounds, able to get Walker. Nice defensive there right there.
Walker again. Walker taking on 3 Jayhawks. Might as well. Takes it all the way. No shot. Foul is prior to the shot, according to Tony Padilla. I mean, John Walker, he's looking at the rim only. Never mind the 3 Kansas Jayhawks that were in his way.
But he's playing with so much energy and confidence.
Now that extra step, put it on the floor. And so baseline out of bounds here for Texas Southern. 14 foul for Kansas at this point with 10:22 to go. Brown trying to check Walker, gets by him, gives it up. Grisham to the corner. On the drive, no, denied, running into a wall inside. Kansas has dialed up the defensive intensity here. There's Brown, turn the corner, get a step. Brown, he can fly, elevated, comes up short.
Hey, Grisham right there. to at least contest the shot by Brown and make it more uncomfortable for him to finish inside.
Jordan Gillian with Brown on him. Gillian, redshirt senior, right there in Houston, bangs off the backboard. No easy looks.
No.
Martin, oh, what a pass. And a finish by McCormick. Remy Martin put it on a dime, and McCormick throws it down. Kansas with 7 assists on their 9 made baskets thus far. They're sharing it early. Points coming in the paint as well. Jones finds Walker in a foul on Harris.
Sore foot and all. McCormick right here able to get up and over the top of Remy Martin. Spotted him all the way coming down the court. I tell you, when he plays well, when he plays dominant, this is a different Kansas team, and you can track, you know, the wins and losses based around his performance.
Well, the hype was appropriate coming from Arizona State. He had a monster game as a member of the Sun Devils. Bobby Hurley playing against Kansas a year ago. Just has been a down year. He can change all that in the tournament. Abaji with a block. Up ahead, Brown. Harris running as well. Kicks it out. Martin passes up a 3. Martin and Harris on the floor together. Off the window. Nicely done. Juwan Harris with 7 points now for the Jayhawks, and it's an 11-point lead. Biggest lead of the game for Kansas. Bryson at Teahan, who had a terrific first 4 game, and turns it over. Martin again, all the way. Martin will throw it down. Remy Martin, listed as 6 foot, maybe just shy, but he elevates in the two-handed jam, and the Jayhawks, Jimmy, on a 6-0 run.
And rolling right now, the defensive effort for the Jayhawks paying dividends. And get up, young fella. Get up over the rim.
2 feet.
Adam Lefkoe, New York with the Geico Game Break over on TNT. Vermont, Arkansas. It is 4 versus 13, and Ryan Davis on the block. Bodies up, gets the basket and the foul. It's tied up. Let's get back to Brian Anderson in Fort Worth.
Tell you what, there have been some upsets today. By the way, Vermont, they've lost 1 game in the last 3 months. I mean, they are no joke. And giving Arkansas all they want. New Mexico State took down UConn. You got St. Mary's advancing, St. Peter's advancing, beating Kentucky. How about the Saints moving on St. Patrick's Day?
I was going to say the Saints, it's a familiar tone right there. You know, prayers up right there. They were answered today, but, you know, the gap has closed, you know, over the last 8 to 10 years in regards to, you know, mid-majors not being as competitive, but they're senior-oriented teams, veterans that have been around, understand the system, and can compete and play.
Got a foul on Kansas as A.J. Lawson was in the paint. I believe that's going to be Abaji called for the foul, and that's going to take us to another timeout. Media timeout. Under 8 we go. 25-12. Jayhawks, the top seed. Top seeded Jayhawks playing that sweet music thus far. They lead it 25-12 over Texas Southern. Our game summary moments ago. Allie LaForce had a chance to visit with Johnny Jones at Texas Southern.
Well, Coach, you were able to turn Kansas over, but you committed a lot of turnovers yourself. It led to quite a few Kansas points. How do you settle the team down and poise them for a run here?
We certainly got to do a much better job of taking care of the ball. You can't have live balls, turnovers against those guys. They're too quick, they're fast, easy scoring opportunities. We've got to get our defense set and make them have to score over top of us. We've got to settle down. We've got to get the ball moving from side to side, try to get into their gaps. You're not going to beat them trying to get the ball on one side and play one-on-one. They're too solid a defensive team for that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, bottom line, look, your offense can be your best defense. And what do I mean by that? 1, you don't turn the ball over. 2, you take good, high-quality shots. And if you do miss, that gives you balance that doesn't allow Kansas to have 3-on-2s, 2-on-1s, you know, in their favor. Plus, if you score, now you can set your defense.
Kansas on an 8-0 run right now. They're up 27-12. Walker, he gets a double team immediately. Now Nicholas, and he turns it over into the hands of Remy Martin.
Yeah, in the traffic, you got to be strong with the ball. Kansas is going to reach and cut. Beautiful pass.
Oh, McCormick with the finish, but how about the dish by Remy Martin?
Well, you see why he's so valuable. The pass to McCormick on the break to get the dunk, and that pass in tight quarters usually would be a bounce pass, you know, to wrap around the defender, but that one was in the air, right in the hand of McCormick, so he could just finish.
And now Martin trying to check Walker. He fouls him on the floor. I'll tell you, Jimmy, Remy Martin, last 2 games of the Big 12 tournament, he played 45 minutes. He did not turn the ball over once. And a couple of beautiful dimes tonight.
Well, it's amazing when you feel healthy, how mentally better you feel in play. Okay, when you feel inhibited because of a health issue, you got to be hesitant in what you do, whether that's shooting, playing defense, running the break, whatever it is. You can't explode. You can't do what you're comfortable doing. But right now, that time off has allowed Remy to not just get his body right, Brian, but get his mind back in the place where he can be effective.
Martin scored the last 10 points of the first half in the Big 12 tournament title game against Texas Tech and gave him a little bit of a sign of things to come. He was a big scorer at Arizona State, of course, averaged 19 a game for 2 years.
You remember when Bobby Hurley got there, was guard you.
Yes.
He exploded on the scene. It's so tough to play against him there.
Finish with a left hand.
Yeah, his ability to do this. One, he can stretch the court because he can shoot it. But then to be able to turn the corner and use both hands to finish.
And Teahan runs into a wall. No call there. Running into a stationary defender. Now Martin, yes, he's cooking. Remy Martin. Bill Self called a bit of an explosion in the NCAA tournament from Martin, and he's giving it to him right now. Not only passing well, but he's got 9 points. Jimmy has not missed.
Well, it's nothing like a little Remy at night to calm your nerves if you're a Kansas fan, and giving it all right now. Kansas up 20. Well, with a name like Remy Martin, you got to be smooth. And that's just what he is. He had the beautiful dime to McCormick in transition. On a little pick and roll, and you can get a steal. Little bops right here, get up and down. I may be short, but I'm explosive right here. Look, ooh, left hand pass inside, and why not knock down a 3 after that? Good to see him back and healthy. Well, I mean, the Texas Southern is not good to see him healthy.
Yeah, Martin with 9 points in the last minute 40, and there's another Texas Southern turnover, just giving it away right now, and Kansas is on a serious run. Abaji cannot hit. Brown keeps it alive. Brown with the offensive rebound. And DeJuan Harris, there he is. Points to his head. Let's be smart. Let's get it set up. 15-2 Kansas run as we approach the 5-minute mark of this first half. And McCormick, that was too hot to handle.
Yeah.
Maybe a little taller, and he's got a chance.
Yeah, if he throws it up, Brown throws it up at the rim, and that's what McCormick is saying. Throw it at the rim. Let me go up and get it. I know I got a little sore foot. I may be gimpy a little bit, but I can still get up there and get it. Great substitution right here, too, for McCormack, giving him a little bit of a break here by Bill Self.
Back on the floor, Mitch Lightfoot. Texas Southern desperately needing something good to happen here. This 15-2 Kansas run, it covers about 5.5 minutes. And Rosas trying to get to the paint. Rosas, no, man, he is just surrounded inside.
Yeah, Texas Southern making it more difficult on themselves with the difficulty of shots they're choosing to take.
Lightfoot back in his way. Oh, fundamental and one. Mitch Lightfoot with the spin, the hoop, and the harm.
Well, you have one team in Texas Southern playing too quick. You have another team in Kansas that are playing at their pace, getting to the spots they want and need to get to, and then getting high quality shots. And Lightfoot that time knew the baseline was open, just set his opponent up. 2 dribbles to the middle, spin move, contact at the free throw line for an old-fashioned 3-point play.
6'8" senior, been around a long time. Had his best game in the Big 12 tournament, went for 15 points in the semifinal game against TCU. 15 points in 25 minutes. And his teammates call him the best influencer on the team. He's appeared in 11 NCAA tournament games, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, just
Grisham's got it.
Consistency. Yeah, Grisham inside, but you love to have that kind of leadership. And you see that across the board with, with schools, and you can lean on that knowledge.
Another nice pass. Harris finishes it off. I'm telling you, Remy Martin is putting on a clinic right now in the assist category. That's his 4th assist of the game, and they have all been thrillers. He scored 9 points in about a minute and a half stretch. All Kansas, and the top seed rolling here in Fort Worth. Lightfoot clears it, 1 and done for Texas Southern. Abaji leaves it for Martin. Those are the right hands. And another one. Oh, and Brown is fouled. I mean, that pass was a touch short, but almost another great pass. How about this guy?
Yeah, but still, he's playing at another right here level.
No look.
No look. Give it to him all backdoor, guard to guard.
All right, Jim, time now for Thrilling Drives presented by Nissan, and Remy Martin going all Chris Paul out here right
Chris
now.
Paul, a.k.a. Irvin Magic Johnson out here, just left hand, right hand, how you want it, just get open. Remy Martin will provide the support for you. But that's just an exuberance and excitement from a young man that has been striving to get to this point, go deep in the tournament if he can, but finally be back on the court and be healthy.
Led the Pac-12 in scoring a season ago at Arizona State. That knee injury occurred the 3rd week of December.
Right.
And he's just now starting to look himself. And it picked up the intensity in the Big 12 tournament. And a tournament title for Kansas. 23-point lead here with Brown on the line. And missed him. Unusual. 75% free throw shooter is Christian Brown, Kansas City area native. Nicholas, and he is fouled on his way in. Boy, he's not afraid.
No, good drive. I think that time Jalen Wilson was in correct position, but he came down at the end. And it's interesting too with Bill Self, one of the early interviews that Allie did with him, saying that they had to get used to the speed of Texas Southern, and once they were able to make that adjustment, you see the transition that Texas Southern now is not, getting anything easy.
Hey, you can join the mania in the Bleacher Report app. Rep your team, drop your takes, get buzzer-beating alerts and more, all in one place. Scan the code now to download the Bleacher Report app and never miss a minute of March. Nightcap here in Fort Worth. Been a terrific day of basketball, big upsets. 4 double-digit seeded teams have won today, and the shocker of them all, St. Peter's taking down Kentucky, the 2 seed. Remember, Kentucky lost to Tennessee in the SEC tournament, probably dropped off the 1 line.
Yep.
And then they run into a Cinderella. Brown, sidestep, 3-pointer, back iron. Lightfoot just keeping it alive here. Brown gives it up. Harris on its way. He's got another one. DeJuan Harris, the offensive rebounds, leading to points for the Jayhawks. And a rout going here with 2.5 left in the first half.
And we talk about the play of Remy Martin, but how about DeJuan Harris? 5 for 5, 2 for 2 from behind the line for 12 points. Again, the experience through the course of the year and huge dividends down the tournament.
Gresham, no.
Oh, Remy
Martin, and he lost it out of bounds.
He wanted it. He wanted it.
He's trying to get all the assists, all the points, and all the rebounds at this point.
But you know what? I don't mind you being greedy in those categories, okay? Because that means that you're trying to do whatever it takes for your team to win. But I will say this, too, though. That time, Brown was like, bro, I had the rebound.
Standing right here,
right there.
I tell you, that vertical is impressive, though.
No, it was.
It was up.
That's when you know you're feeling good, when that bop is back and you're able to get up and down.
Yes, that's a great point. I mean, you would know that better than anybody. Yeah. He's got some bounce and some spring, and you don't mind it at all. Adams on the floor for the first time. Abaji will find Harris. He'll get it organized. We're under 2 minutes here in the first half. It's been all Kansas. Coleman Lands getting his first minutes, and that's hit it out. A.J. Lawson spins. Might have got away with a travel. Lawson looking for help and turns it over. Don't get it back. Henry runs it down. Got to go here. 12 to shoot. P.J. Henry, the transfer from Hartford, matched up against Baylor in the NCAA tournament last year. That's a 2. That's an air ball. Grisham saves it, but Texas Southern going to run out of time here. Jalen Coleman lands, Jimmy. It's so great to see him. He's bounced around a lot, and he's made an impact wherever he's been.
You know, at DePaul, he has a degree in marketing, also at Iowa State in management information systems, but he began this program called Athletes House Foundation. And what it is, it's teaching about financial literature. So he has 5 of his teammates on the day off, invited some more to talk about the importance of understanding that while you're young. To me, that's impactful as you can get as a player while still playing at the university. My hat goes off to that young man. He's been around, but he's made an impact at each school that he's been at and working on his 3rd degree.
Now, you and I saw a lot of him at Illinois. He was in the Big Ten. They went to DePaul, then Iowa State, and you're playing for these programs. Yep. And on the surface, it looks like a guy, kind of a journeyman who's bouncing around, but man, he's having a great impact. Every coach he's ever had raves about him. Good stuff from Jalen Coleman lands. There's the coach's son coming up short, John Jones. See Zach Clements on the floor for the first time as well. Obaji running with Clements, leaves it for him, and it's knocked away by Lawson. Very high on Clements, the freshman from San Antonio.
Not too far from here. Sure, he has a contingency of family and friends here.
It's on a high school team that finished runner-up for a national championship, high-powered high school team. And here at Kansas and getting some valuable minutes on the floor in the NCAA tournament. Ochai Agbaji. Clements, he'll pull it. 3-pointer on its way, short. Shot clock, game clock, right about even. Just 1/10 of a second separating. Grisham, he'll take it. That's an air ball. Save, chance here. And down it goes, Jordan Carl Nicholas. So Jordan Carl Nicholas with the bucket. Timeout on the floor. Well, Texas Southern gets a highlight, but it's been all Kansas here in the first half in Fort Worth. 14 seconds from halftime, and coming up on AT&T at the half, scores and highlights, the latest NCAA tournament news. That's all coming up. AT&T at the half. UCLA in a tight game with Akron. By the way, today the 66-year anniversary of John Wooden's first NCAA tournament win as a head coach, back to Jimmy Jackson's first year in the Big Ten, I think. 1956. You remember that well, don't you, Jim?
You know, I really do, yeah. Popcorn was 25 cents, too.
Clements goes and scores and one. So the freshman gets a bucket. Bill Self draws one up. And Clements is on the board and a chance at a 3-point play at the end of this first half.
Big, really good pick and roll right in the middle of the court. They always say you set the pick, you'll be the recipient of a good pass, and that time Clements, even through some traffic, excellent footwork.
Coleman lands.
Why not? Why not?
And he cashes it in.
Why
so
not?
Clements and Coleman lands, and they're jumping for joy as the Kansas Jayhawks a walk in the park here in this first half.
Now the offensive rebound, you stay with it. But the recognition of the shot clock, game clock going down, and Jalen Coleman able to knock it in.
This is a team that could very well end up in New Orleans at the Final Four. The road to the Final Four, it continues. March Madness. Kansas finishing with a flurry in that first half. We're back after this. All the pageantry of the NCAA tournament. First round action here from Fort Worth. It has been all Kansas in the first half. Brian Anderson with Jim Jackson. So Kansas is looking every bit the part of the #1 seed in the Midwest.
You know, I think the late start kind of hampered their great start, so to speak, but also they got adjusted to the speed of, Texas Southern. Then once they got into their actions offensively and defensively, they were able to just control everything. Controlling the paint, see 24 points in the paint, bench points, 3-point field goals, and so on. So
cannot underestimate what Remy Martin's performance in this first half means for Kansas looking forward to this tournament, Jim.
The bigger picture, having a scorer, an assist maker, a decision maker, an influencer on the defensive end, another body adds to your depth. All of those things correspond with competing for a championship, and this is what Remy Martin is all about in regards to why he chose Kansas to play on this big stage.
So here we go, second half in Fort Worth, and it'll be Texas Southern with the opening possession. Texas Southern winning out of the first 4, got their NCAA tournament win, their 3rd, under Johnny Jones. And right away, Johnny Walker getting the start in this second half. Here's Teahan. He's been quiet today.
Yep.
Teahan, a bulldog. A.J. Lawson comes up short, and Abaji will clear it. Abaji, a quiet first half. Really didn't need him, though. 7 points. He's got 3 rebounds now. The Big 12 Player of the Year, unanimous Big 12 Player of the Year. He's also first-team All-America selection. McCormick going to work.
Yep.
So if you're Kansas right now, you got a big lead. This is a comfortable game, but there are things that I'm sure Bill Self wants to accomplish as he starts to prepare for Saturday.
Well, one thing, you want to come out of this healthy, okay, first and foremost. But there are actions and things that you want to run to work on. Because remember, when we talked to Bill Self, he said that he had some plays in his playbook that he didn't run during the course of the Big 12 season or even in the tournament. So not that he'll run them now so that the opposing team can scout them that they play next, but you still want to keep a rhythm going in order to continue to survive and advance in the tournament.
I would imagine McCormick's high on his list.
Oh yeah,
guys, you want to get active, get him going, and then potentially be able to sit him down. He's been an inconsistent performer. Abaji, and that's going the other way. Hooked him, and an offensive foul. Put the ball in the hands of Texas Southern. Easy call.
Yeah, it's an easy call in the baseline. You go back to McCormick, you talk about the inconsistencies because of a lot of the hype that came out and what he wanted to do. But some players are just who they are. And then if you strip away some of the expectations and accept the player for who they are, then you're able to really see how much value they do have when they play well. And you're not expecting him to carry the load or the team.
Etienne, and he knocks down a 3. Bryson Etienne, a Houston native, went to Temple College, JUCO route, and then now in his hometown at Texas Southern. He had a nice first 4 game, went for 21 in 31 minutes against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Abaji, tough pull-up, no, and there's Brown for the putback. Kansas ranked in the top 10 all year this year. They get the 3rd overall #1 seed. Nice cut to the basket, a foul. McCormick. As P.J. Henry was on the drive. Free throws coming. I see Bill Self, 23 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances by head coach Tom Izzo. Leads the pack with 24. Mark Few of Gonzaga. Gonzaga winning today, another #1 seed. We saw Baylor win on this floor earlier today. An impressive victory for the Bears. They're in the East region. Gonzaga, the #1 in the West. Wide open field, though, it feels like. I mean, the race for the #1 seeds. I know you and I have talked about this. 8 to 10 teams you feel like could come and win a national championship, and that's just purely on talent. What you see, that strips away all that can happen in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, but it's also too because it hasn't been one team that has kind of separated itself from the pack all year that you could say, okay, this team clearly has the advantage over teams A, B, C, and D. Offense.
Yeah, going the other way again. Kansas turns it over. I'll tell you one team that looks for real right now is North Carolina. Hubert Davis's Tar Heels.
What they do, because they kind of went through some stuff during the course of the year, but they found themselves. And we talked about that Wake Forest loss, where that was a turning point for them. You know, it wasn't the Duke win. It was that point that kind of brought them together. And they have a little bit of everything from guard play, shooting, size inside, and they have balance.
Yeah, they're hot. They took down Marquette in an impressive fashion today, setting up a North Carolina-Baylor matchup. Offensive rebound, Walker, second shot. Oh, McCormick just, the big man just goes plowing into P.J. Henry.
You know, it's interesting talking to Bill Self. You see the hustle here. He said this about his team. He said, it's a team that isn't as individually talented as some of the teams that he's had. But the key is, here's the but. They think they are,
yeah.
which he loves, because they play with a little attitude.
That's an interesting combination, too. It's a high-powered offense, but it's an offense that shares well. Abaji's certainly a star in the college game, but you know, they move the ball well, good assist numbers, and they have multiple weapons. Harris on the drive, no. And McCormick just takes it right out of the hands of Johnny Walker, and McCormick rocks the rim. He's had some big dunks in this game.
I think the commonality you saw today with Baylor, North Carolina, now Kansas. We talked about the balance within the structure, sharing of the basketball, unselfish play, defensively able to lock in. And those are the teams that normally you think about advancing.
Oh, look out, Abaji. Set up by Brown. And a dunk contest breaking out here in Fort Worth.
13 assists on 24 made field goals. We've been saying it about the top teams, about how they share the pill.
Biggest lead here for Kansas at 31. Walker got a step and a foul. So Brown will be hit with the foul. Flying high here in Fort Worth tonight, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, some of these dunks are better than the NBA dunk contest.
Easy. This is a nice leave here. Brown to Abaji for the throwdown. First round action continues tomorrow. The Nissan NCAA tip-off show on True TV at noon Eastern. 16 games across TBS, CBS, TNT, and True TV. Tomorrow, you decide the games to watch. Let me guess, Jim, what game has your attention tomorrow?
You already know. That number 7 and 10. Yeah, that's a scary one right there, partner. That is Mr. Valentine, who's the head coach there at Loyola, was assistant coach for Tom Izzo.
Yes.
So he understands a lot about Big Ten teams. Denzel Valentine's brother. So it's like, that one's scary, brother.
Took over for Porter Moser, who's now in Oklahoma.
Yep.
So we'll be watching other games. You'll be watching that one, of course. And a lot of terrific games. Auburn, got your eye on Auburn, Purdue.
Oh, yeah, Purdue.
I mean, Arizona. Going to be another great day tomorrow. It is truly one of the great days on the sports calendar as Texas Southern runs out of time. Shot clock violation. Johnny Jones left scratching his head. He knew a game like this could break out, was hoping for a better outcome, but just a thrill to have a chance to play against a great team like Kansas. And again, you can't overestimate that first 4 victory for Texas Southern. Get that extra game. This wonders for the program. McCormick backing his way down. Grisham standing right in there, and that's a foul prior to the shot. .41 remaining. And we'll close the books on a full day here in Fort Worth. What a great venue, by the way. TCU, Texas Christian University, a fantastic host. And this venue is outstanding. Ochai Abaji, that's a tough shot. Can't get it to go. On the run, leave it up top. There you go. Throw it down. John Walker.
Hey, man, P.J. Henry, man, got some jets, bro. I mean, you got to keep up with him, but man.
Brown missed the layup. McCormick can't wrestle it free. On the run out, here comes Teahan. Teahan, little sidestep. And the follow jam. Was that Lawson?
Yeah, Lawson right there in transition. So it's back-to-back transition baskets by Texas Southern.
So a dunk contest breaking out on the other side. Yeah. Texas Southern happy to oblige. McCormick inside.
Nice.
Got position of foul on Gresham. Yeah, Southern going up above the rim.
And the alley-oop first from Henry to Walker. And then, now this one may have been on the rim a little bit still. Above the cylinder, but so what? It still counts. AJ got it. The official's like, nah, that don't.
Free throws here for David McCormick. Kansas's big man, 6'10", out of Norfolk, Virginia. 76% free throw shooter, and that looked good. Coca-Cola Zero Sugar, the best Coke ever. Like the GOAT. Is this fact checked? Debate the GOATness. Let's check in with Allie LaForce. She's got more on Big Dave McCormick. What do you have, Allie?
Well, I got to speak to him yesterday, and he said he just appreciates Coach so much. He's always pushing me to be the best big man I can. He said especially my rebounding offensively and defensively to get second chance shots and creating more opportunities for my teammates. He says he thinks he's done a really good job of passing out of the post this year, too, something that he considered a weakness of his.
Thank you, Allie. Good stuff, McCormick. Coach Self raves about him. You can tell, Jimmy, he's a little hobbled. You know, he's not running down the floor well, but and he'll be lifted here as Clements will re-enter.
Well, I mean, the challenge to coming into Kansas when you go to Oak Hill Academy, automatically, you know, that assumption is that going to that academy that you're going to be a special player, okay, in college. And not to say that he hasn't been effective, but those expectations have been tough. And Remy Martin, my goodness. And Kenny Smith made at halftime made a point about this. Kansas in their physicality are able to play through, pass through contact, and finish through contact. Texas Southern, on the other hand, at times are not as consistent of doing that. And that's the difference between what you see with a Big 12 team in Kansas and playing through that contact to Texas Southern.
Even a little guy like Remy Martin, 12 points for him, 4 helpers. He has a couple of steals as well, had a terrific first half. Matter of fact, he scored 9 points in a window of about 90 seconds.
Right.
And had some highlight reel passes in that first half as well. John Jones gives it up.
Nice move.
Nicholas. Clements with the rebound. Clements getting some good run here. You know he appreciates the playing time, opportunity at an NCAA tournament. He'll have many more to come, and he pulls down an offensive board here. Brown's going to lace it up, and the three is good. Christian Brown, 38% three-point shooter during the regular season. Excellent free throw shooter as well. He's got next level potential. Kansas continuing to push their lead. It is currently the biggest lead, 34. Zach Clements. Watch live men's games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. You can scan the QR code now to download. Hey, John Jones. Long range corner three for the coach's son.
We asked Coach, I think it might have been Allie that asked Coach Johnny Jones, who do you need to get hot? He said, well, number 12 can get hot for us early.
He's got good genes.
That's right. That's what he said.
Yeah. Nice play. Nicholas, he's running the floor. He wanted up top. They kick it to the wing, though, and the three-pointer no good. Short offensive rebound. There is Nicholas with the putback. Jordan Carl Nicholas.
Well, the fight doesn't stop with Texas Southern. They're still playing hard. This is something special, you know, to them. But that just goes back to the credit of the coaching staff, too, that no matter what the clock says, you continue to play through and play hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity of a lifetime to play an NCAA tournament. Never take it for granted. As Brown with 5 to shoot, denied. John Walker take us to a timeout. It'll be Kansas ball. Fort Worth, Texas, Cowtown. Been a great day here, and we're set up for another one on Saturday. What a beautiful shot. All right, Adam, about 6 packages of Swedish fish down at this point. Giving us a great update. St. Mary's and UCLA Yeah, UCLA had that great run last year.
Yep.
Mick Cronin and company, and it was a scare today. They beat Akron, but they were down with 3 minutes to go. So that'll set up a good match. St. Mary's is legit as well. Saints win today. St. Peter's and St. Mary's on St. Patrick's Day. Chayabaji on the run out. Maybe try to get a little more here out of this one. He's got 9 points. It's just a balanced scoring sheet for Kansas. All of their starters on the board. You got Harris and Martin leading the way with 12, the backcourt. And all Kansas here in Fort Worth. Clements. And here's Martin, long 2, and man, he can't miss. Let's check in with Allie LaForce. What do you have for us, Allie?
Well, I got to talk to Abaji yesterday, and I asked him about the unanimous Big 12 Player of the Year vote, and he said it was a huge honor. Throughout the Big 12, we had ups and downs, but I thought our team came together. We grew really well. That was the most rewarding part, not the personal accolades. So he was extremely humble. He also said that Coach Self has really worked with him on his mentality. He said he wants me to be an assassin, and if he was on anybody's team, you would say the same thing. Just coming in, making aggressive moves, playing at the rim, and creating for his teammates. And so Coach is always on him, pushing him to be the best version of himself. And he certainly has the green light, as he should.
It's a compliment to his talent, but also believing in the system. His coaching staff working extremely hard. And what's impressed me is that he got it started early. You see Clements right there with the shot, scoring. But once his team got in control, he didn't go out and hunt shots. And that just says a lot about the nature of the young man, that it's not about him, it's about the team.
Well, he's a lights-out shooter. Had some big moments this year. Inside, Nicholas scores again. Chayabaji, 40.5% from three-point range this year. That was top 6 in the nation. Here's Martin again. Martin's only missed once, make it twice now. Clements got it back, little turnover. And that one's good. Jalen Wilson, he's been saddled with foul trouble in this game. He does have 6 points now. Under 10 minutes to go. Kansas rolling here in their opening round matchup against Texas Southern.
I do wonder at what point, maybe at the next time out, Coach Self will have, exit the game to preserve him and prevent any kind of injury that may occur in kind of late game situations.
Biggest fear right now, isn't it?
Yeah. You want to give him enough time to play, but then you also want to judge that, and there he goes right there. Have a seat, young man.
Obaji, pull up a chair.
That's right.
McCormick out, Brown out, Harris out, and Obaji.
See, this is when you get the ice bags. Ice bag, please.
If you see ice, not heat, right? You're done. Clements trying to get loose, and an air ball. He's got a sweet stroke. He hasn't been able to line it up. That's part of his game, though. And Bill Self and the Jayhawks very high on this freshman from San Antonio, Zach Clements. He'll be a regional in San Antonio next weekend. San Antonio and Chicago and San Francisco and Philadelphia, the sites for the regionals. I'll tell you, Jim, it's just great to be back on the floor, fans in the stands, back in the cities.
Yep.
It was an incredible feat that the NCAA pulled off in the bubble in Indianapolis last year, and we were all very glad to be there. But this is the way it's supposed to be, and you're seeing all these great arenas around the country, and mostly sellouts. Throughout all of these venues and all of these games. I know there are a lot of empty seats now, but tickets sold, they're pretty much covered to the brim. Hey, CY, All Elite Wrestling cannot be stopped. Don't miss AEW Rampage. It's tomorrow on TNT, immediately following NCAA coverage.
I think last year gave us a chance to reset our love for live sports. Being in the venues, not taking it for granted. Fans in the stands on what that means, the energy that is being brought.
Oh, and one, the hoop and a harm as Gilliam takes it strong to the basket. Nicely done. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
Yeah, give him right here in transition. No one picked him up early. This time able to get up and over the top of Joseph Yusufu.
Speaking of the bubble in Indianapolis, remember Yusufu last year?
Oh,
and
Drake,
man, he went off
Yep.
last year. A couple of 20-point games for Drake. And has found his way to Kansas. Could be a nice piece off the bench. You know he's not afraid, and he's going to get a chance to handle the ball here. And these are these opportunities that we're talking about in games like this. Adams Jr. on the floor as well. And Wilson, no. Adams trying to keep it alive, ends up in the hands of Gilliam. John Walker puts it on the deck. Walker scores up and over Adams. Walker's got 11, long and lean.
Yep.
Texas A&M transfer.
Nice. No charge there, but like the action. Just the momentum carried him forward. J.J. Adams, big body right there.
Trunks.
Trunks, shoulders, biceps, back.
He and Wilson. I mean, these guys are put together, man. A couple of quadzillas out there.
I mean, come off a football team. I mean,
looks like Jim Jackson back in the day.
A little bit.
But there's a lot more Jim Jacksons these days.
A lot.
Not many look like you when you were rolling.
That's that good foot. See, I was on our training table. You know what our training table was?
Oh, good luck.
A cheeseburger or a steak. That was it. That's what you got a chance to choose from.
Hey, it's an 8-0 run, Jim. That was a nice feed from Nicholas, the finish by Walker.
Yep.
And timeout on the floor. And Johnny Jones clapping his hands. Texas Southern, they're not laying down. They're fighting, playing hard still. You got to love that. Yeah, better check that bracket. Been some bracket busting going on as we take a look at our game summary. Texas Southern on a bit of a run here with 7.5 to go. Still down 23 to the top seeded Kansas Jayhawks. Number 3 overall seed. Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, Baylor is how the 4 number 1s lined up. Kansas in the Midwest, though. They'll be headed to Chicago if they advance into the regional. That's a foul, and Bill Self put McCormick and Abaji and Harris and Brown back on the floor, and we're going to another timeout. Starters back in. A brief respite. Man, OT, we're having a great run. The evening session here in the NCAA tournament has been fantastic. That St. Peter's upset over Kentucky. And I got a good one going on right now to see who will beat St. Peter's. Inside McCormick. Oh, denied. Walker again. And Wilson comes up with it and scores in traffic. 7-minute mark here. Kansas trying to put Texas Southern away. They're not going quietly, though. Went on a little 15-4 run that forced Bill Self to put his starters back on the floor. Brown off the window. No.
Yeah, I think it's also more of a message to the guys that were on the floor. You know, by putting the starters back in, I'm sure they're not going to be in for an extended period of time, but it's more so like when you get in the game.
On top, Abaji!
You got to play hard.
Harris set him up beautifully. Abaji running the floor. And another highlight for the Kansas Jayhawks. To the starters' credit, they've come back on the floor and they have gotten right back into their groove. It's a formidable starting 5 for Kansas. Long heavy minutes. Hopkins, no. Wilson clears the rebound away. Big 12 put 6 teams in the NCAA tournament this year. The Big 10 led with 9. How about this lob here? Harris, beautiful setup.
Springboard.
Well, that's an easy bounce, isn't it?
Easy money right there. You didn't see the trampoline underneath. He got in and out real quick.
Abaji with 11 points. Just the one made 3. Really haven't needed him tonight.
Nope. But he set the tone early.
Sure.
Which is what a leader is supposed to do. He felt the temperature in the room and knew that this Texas Southern team is going to come out hard and play. So he established who and how Kansas was going to play through the course of this game. And once his teammates jumped on board, he kind of just laid back and let it happen.
John Jones will go to the free throw line here for Texas Southern. Got to be a thrill, not just for John, but Johnny as well, to coach his son, and knocks down the first free throw. After all the games are over, Nabil Kareem, Seth Davis, Rex Chapman, Candace Parker, and Frank Martin have all the highlights and analysis inside March Madness, presented by Buick, next on True TV.
I tell you what, look, Frank always been menacing, right, with the eyes.
Yes.
But now with the nice baldy up there, he's really intimidating right now. I see you, my man.
Never not been intimidating, but I agree with you. It's a little more so.
Yeah.
He's a great guy too.
Awesome.
And we're glad to have him here in our March Madness coverage. Brown launches a long three, and that's cash. Christian Brown. Kansas immediately, when the starters come back on the floor, push this lead back up to 28. Grisham got it. Under 5 minutes to go. Good to see Bryson Gresham again. We saw him last year in that Indy bubble playing for U of H, the Houston Cougars, in the Final Four run. Up top, McCormick was a little off. Looked like Gresham took a shot to the head.
Yeah.
Just playing out the string here. Texas Southern going to be the end of the line. Got him a tournament victory in the first four. There he is, Bryson Grisham. His third appearance in the NCAA tournament. Gave Texas Southern a different look inside. High-level post player. And another tournament title in the SWAC for Texas Southern. Wilson for three. Got it. Wilson's got 11, saddled with some early foul trouble here tonight. All right, let's see the battle of the bigs here. Gresham, he's got some stuff.
Get your money, man.
He takes McCormick.
Get your money.
And scores.
Yo, listen, you hear, you might as well get all you can. You know.
There's Brown again. Three-pointer is good. He's feeling it. Christian Brown, he's got a little swagger. Shoots it well from beyond the arc.
Well, he's a great compliment to McCormick inside, Baji.
All right, timeout on the floor. 3:08 left. The Kansas Jayhawks looking like that #1 seed, rock chalk, here in Fort Worth. Well, Kansas, truly one of the legendary programs. Bill Self, 2017, inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. And look at that, just four coaches, Ted Owens to Larry Brown to Roy Williams to Bill Self. And in their history, Jim, only 10 coaches. And it's going back to the late 1800s, starting with Doc Naismith and Fog Allen to Ted Owens. An incredible consistency with high-level coaches, national championships, and always one of the elite programs and one of the great venues in all of college basketball as well. At the Field House, as Remy Martin back on the floor, he is on the attack and will go to the line. Let's talk Texas Southern here on our way out, Jim. There's 2:47 left. Texas Southern and Johnny Jones getting a reaction from the crowd here. I beg your pardon, just because of some substitutions that are coming up. But Johnny Jones, you know, this is a guy that's seen a lot. He's been around a lot, and he's got something building here at Texas Southern. You know, they're starting to be a frequent visitor to this NCAA tournament.
Well, I mean, you got to establish who you want to be. And like I said, the challenge for HBCUs, when you talk about facilities and money and travel, they're there. But what you do on and off the court is also very important. And having a coach like Johnny Jones who's kind of been there. You think about it, he's coached Shaquille, been around Chris Jackson. He's seen some of the best. So he understands what that means, what a top-tier program feels like. And to build that here will be a prime example. We may not have as much, but you're not going to go with less.
Right.
You know, we're going to make sure you have everything you need to be able to compete on and off the court at a high level. And that's just a great example to have as a coach.
We saw Norfolk State earlier today, the HBCUs representing well, and they're continuing to build their programs. That ovation you heard was for Chris Teahan, a fan favorite, a walk-on. He's already graduated, but getting his NCAA tournament moment and rocking the mullet.
The mullet. You know, you got a confidence you got to have to rock the. He, Matthew Meyer, with the mullet. Just look at that, and the stash to go with it. And the stash.
Teahan, a Kansas native from Lakewood, Kansas. As soon as he got up, I heard this burst of applause.
Right,
and now
right.
that's happened throughout the day because they've been running some highlights on the big board. So I wasn't quite sure if there was another game going on, but then you find out who the fan favorites are. The walk-ons, and getting a chance to play in an NCAA tournament game. Johnny Jones trying to take this one to the finish line, knowing it'll be a successful season, another SWAC tournament title. Sets us up for a nice matchup with Creighton against Kansas on Saturday. Adams just flying high, and that's going to be Texas Southern basketball. We saw an incredible rally by Creighton twice. They rallied at the end of regulation against San Diego State. San Diego State multiple times looked like they had that game won. But Creighton survives like they've been doing all year. And now you're set up for a Creighton-Kansas matchup.
Yeah, but you know, with Creighton, the condition of Ryan Kalkbrenner, that's going to be interesting to see because it didn't look good when he exited the game. And to lose that size, you know Kansas is big and they're physical.
That was a big story in the San Diego State Creighton game, and there'll be news on that tomorrow, you would imagine. A knee injury was reported by the Creighton officials, as Allie reported, so that'll be something to watch tomorrow for the practice days. All teams come back, they do full practices on this floor, and then we're set up for Saturday on this floor in the East region. Baylor, the top seed in the East, will take on North Carolina, who was impressive in their win over Marquette. And then Creighton and Kansas as we get to the second round. Clements backing his way in. Tough little turnaround. He hasn't been afraid. He just hasn't been able to knock him down, Clements. He's gotten his shots up. He's 1 for 7. Under a minute to go here.
Hey, Brian, you can't score if you don't shoot.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Matter of fact, Teahan, he's got to get some shots up, does he not? I mean, this is it. This might be his one shining moment, Jim.
Get it up.
15 straight wins for the Kansas Jayhawks in the round of 64, now known as round 1. And it was known as round 1 forever, and then there was a brief window there when the first 4 was considered a round 1 win. That got us really confused, though.
All day long. That was. They asked me. I'm like, I don't know.
It's going to be the 50th career NCAA tournament win for Bill Self. That is currently 6th all time, rewriting the records. All right, put it up. Teahan, there he goes.
There we go.
Shot on the way.
Look strong. Look strong.
Yeah. Not his game. Gresham 23 and change remaining. Been a good day, Jim. Enjoyed being with you once again back on the floor at the NCAA tournament. I can't wait to march through March Madness, and our terrific crew hanging in there all day. It's a long day, but it's a fun day. We love it, all of us. We got some of the best technicians in the world in sports television, and this great family bringing you all these March Madness games. Two good friends right there, Bill Self, Johnny Jones. And that is going to do it. And the Kansas Jayhawks, impressive as the #1 seed, march to the second round. An 83-56 final score for the 5 starters in double figures. Remy Martin really was the guy, though. 15 points. Also had 4 assists. So Kansas and Creighton will be a matchup in this Midwest region right here in Fort Worth on Saturday. We're coming right back. Interviews coming next with Allie. Stay right there. It's in the books, this round 1 win for Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks. And Ochai Agbaji standing by with Allie LaForce.
Well, Ochai, congratulations on the win. You told me yesterday that coach encourages you to play like an assassin. Did you feel the team came out and played like a team of assassins tonight?
Yeah, we just came out. My mentality was, just come out and make every winning play that I can. And the other guys followed my lead, so.
You're a senior. This team is full of seniors. How would you describe your sense of urgency to win this tournament?
There's a big sense of urgency. I think, we were just so ready to play. Even this morning, waking up, it's just been a really anxious day leading up to this. But we got the first one out of the way, and we're just ready to move on to the next.
1 down, lots to go. Congrats on the win.
Yes, thank you.
Ochai Agbaji, Big 12 Player of the Year, first team All-America selection. He and the Jayhawks are moving on. It was a dunk contest in a lot of ways here. Coming up next, True TV Inside March Madness presented by Buick with all the highlights and analysis. For Jim Jackson, Allie LaForce, and the rest of our terrific March Madness crew, I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from Fort Worth. Inside March Madness presented by Buick coming up next.